Hi everyone, it is 1 p.m. Eastern, so we are going to get started in just a few minutes, but I'm still seeing names pop into the attendee list, so we'll just give guests a couple more minutes to join and then get started right away. Thanks for your patience. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. So just to start, to introduce myself, my name is Maddie Peck. I am the Director of Partnerships at Gooten, and I'm going to talk to you briefly today to begin a little bit about what we've done to prepare for the holiday season. I'll highlight some important dates that you should have on your radar and highlight especially today the customer support side of things, because that becomes very important as we go into the heat of Q4 and fulfilling orders. And then for the most exciting part of our webinar, I will turn things over to Adi Suja, who is the founder of Growthetics. He's going to talk to you about content marketing. All right, so just to begin, I'm going to go into how Gooten prepares for the holiday season. So as everyone on this call knows, the holiday season for sales between Black Friday and Christmas is cause for a lot of consternation and angst in terms of production capacity, turnaround time, shipping. The entire industry is preparing early in advance to make sure everything goes well. And that's absolutely the case with Gooten. So we've actually started thinking about the holiday season and what we can do to prepare. I think it was April of this year. And what that really means on our side of things is doing everything we can to mitigate risk for your orders and make the platform as robust as possible for you to use. So on the production side of things, due to Gooten's business model, we have the benefit of being able to add redundant production capacity for our products. So we've done an analysis of all of the best-selling products, about 20 or 25 of them at the top of the list out of our large catalog, and ensured that we have a redundancy or backup plan, at least between 1 to 2 facilities outside of our primary manufacturer for those products. So for anyone who's survived holiday seasons of past, hopefully thrived, you may remember times when there are certain print-on-demand providers or manufacturers in the industry that had a holiday season catastrophe or big production errors. And what we've done to prepare or mitigate the risk of those is adding that redundant capacity so we can move order volumes around if we need to. So an example of this historically is, if anyone remembers the shutdown of Colorado Timberline September of last year, we actually had some orders routed through to them, but within 24 hours, we had all of our orders rerouted to alternate facilities because of that redundancy. So that's something that we are always working on beefing up. And this year, we've also done a lot to add new products and really round out our offering. So I'll touch on some of these at the end of the presentation, as well as some of the new developments we've had on the technology side and production side. But really just want to let everyone know, and feel free to throw questions in the chat, that we've been preparing for quite a while to make sure this holiday season is as successful as possible. And then if we go into a little bit more, whoa, how did I switch off that? Oh, Colin, can you help me?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, just a second. Just a second, sorry, brief technical glitch. Managed to get rid of the presentation. I'll keep talking anyway, because I basically know what's next, and we'll bring that back up. But want to talk a little bit about how you can prepare to be successful in the holiday season, because that's a question I get all the time from our partners. And so one of the big things that I tell people always, and it's great, we're still in October, though we've already started to lose some time as we move forward to things, is prepare early. And so that means all the way from planning your promotion campaigns in advance, getting your products added, your designs figured out, trying to basically get your store in order or organized, beefing up your FAQs all before the crazy season hits. And then while you're in that and you're receiving hopefully a large volume of orders from customers and your marketing campaigns are underway and all of that preparation you've done is coming to fruition in terms of realizing sales, then you can focus on just delivering superior customer service to people who are buying from you, making sure they have a really good experience, and then getting those holiday season customers to turn into repeat customers. And that's something that there's a lot of literature and a lot of talk, and it's really very true. We experience it as a company, almost anyone does, who's kind of around this peak season of having a lot of these new buyers come in during Q4. Those can be very valuable repeat customers during other times of the year. So making sure they're having a good experience. If they do reach out to you because of a delayed order or something's lost in shipping, that you're getting back to them promptly and really making sure that they're very happy with your store so they become a repeat customer. So in terms of your interaction with Gooten, there's a lot you can do now, and that's especially on the store setup and product creation side. So our partnerships team is in the midst of a ton of conversations as we speak with store owners who are eager to move fulfillment over to us, to switch products, to add new products. We're helping them do that. Our customer service team in the exact same way. And as we're having those conversations with people and kind of getting the nuts and bolts figured out on the product side, something that we're continuing to remind our partners is in some important dates to think about, especially as they're planning for marketing. So what I have here on this page, and this will all be shared after the presentation, so don't worry about writing everything down, is just some dates to have on your radar in terms of cutoffs. So because we are in the print-on-demand custom product space, every order is made to order. And so production time typically ranges between kind of 3 to 5 days for most of the products in our catalog. Some of them are a little bit longer. You can view that by product on the product catalog. So what we do is estimate every year based on that standard kind of 4-day average production time, when you need to have orders into our system based off of what types of shipping you select. So you can see on the calendar, we have a standard shipping, an expedited shipping, and an overnight shipping cutoff dates. These are ranges for a reason. It's because it's not an exact science. And I strongly encourage everyone to double check based off of what products you're selling in the catalog to try to do your own estimation yourself. But these ranges are usually a pretty good guidepost. And as we get closer to those ranges, actually in time, we will send out reminder emails to you letting you know, hey, you've got a couple more days for sales, like make sure your orders are into Gooten by this day to best ensure that they arrive for Christmas. There's no guarantees in this business, as we all know, because we are reliant on shipping carriers. We can have a Canadian postal strike again, like we did last year, which please, hopeful, does not happen. But these ranges are really what we guide to give you that best shot of people's packages arriving in time. So definitely something to be aware of, to plan for as you're thinking about when you're gonna spend those marketing dollars. Related to that, a very important thing to understand is how production time works. So this is important all year when working with Gooten. It becomes especially important during the holiday season. So the first thing, as I said, is all of these products are custom. And so when an order comes into Gooten, it typically is in Gooten for about 2 hours. We call that 2 hours pending time. At that point, the order is in limbo. It's been received in our system, but we haven't yet sent it to a manufacturer to be produced yet. So it's just sitting in Gooten, all of that order data. While that order is sitting in Gooten for those 2 hours, which you can extend in your settings if you'd like it to sit there longer, you can cancel the order, you can put the order on hold, you can update the image on an order, change an address, any kind of housekeeping items you need to do before the order goes into production. Once that order goes into production in our system, it means that it's sent via our API to the manufacturer, and it'll say in production on your Gooten orders page. Once that happens, we can't change the order at that point. We can, and we can like try and catch it and email someone in their customer service team and like hope they see the email in time and they can edit it in their system, and it's kind of a mess, but technologically we can't do anything. It's kind of gone at that point. It's left the door. And that's when it goes into production in the manufacturer's system and the clock starts. So at almost all of our manufacturers, the day they receive the order, they consider submission day, or we count as day 0. And then the actual production days, in terms of how much time they have to make the item before we start saying, hey guys, you're late, is counted on the following business day after that. So if you send an order in Friday afternoon, that's going to be the submission day, and the first day of production is the following Monday. So that's day 1, Tuesday's day 2, Wednesday's day 3, Thursday's day 4. So if that's an item that has an SLA or a service level agreement, as we sometimes call it, or production time as 4 business days, you'd expect to see that item typically ship on the Wednesday or the Thursday, right? It's like 3 or 4 days after. So during the slow times of the year, like summer, a lot of times we'll see that item ship on Monday or Tuesday even, because the vendor has spare capacity and they're just chugging through orders as fast as they get them. Other times of the year, even now, we start to see kind of 3 days become more of the average, or even 4 days, which is pretty normal. And then in the peak times, so between Black Friday and kind of Christmas, it's pretty normal to see even an order that has a 4-day kind of production mark on the sand not ship until that Friday of the following week. Most of our manufacturing partners, if not all of them, ask us to give them a day buffer during peak times, even though their teams are working basically 24-hour shifts and rotations and through weekends. Just the order volume they receive is so high that it's normal for an order to take an extra day or so. So that's also something that you should plan for, and try not to panic if things look a little bit late within the kind of 24-hour standpoint. That's very normal, especially during holiday season. Where we start to engage with the manufacturer on what we think of as like a production slip is on that 6th day. So if you've submitted that order on the Friday, it hasn't shipped by close of business the following Friday, the Gooten team is going to be saying, all right, something's going on here. So we're going to reach out to the manufacturer starting that Friday afternoon or that Monday morning and say, hey, we need an update on this. This is late. This needs to go out. And there is a vendor analyst assigned to every single one of our vendors. They have a rolling report that they go out every single morning. They actually work in Europe, so it's all on Eastern time, where they're following up on all of these orders. And so this is something that we do proactively. A lot of our partners, and I completely sympathize with them, want to send us a support ticket for every single late order, which I completely understand why. That really doesn't help very much. We'll do our best to get back to you and let you know. But a lot of time when you've sent a support ticket, we've already sent the manufacturer something back and we're waiting for them. So we'll try to get that information back to you once they get back to us, but it just kind of becomes this little bit of a game of telephone. We're working on, and our support team trying to be more proactive in reaching out to you if we know something is going to be late and give you a heads up. But just as a kind of best practice for interacting with our support team, starting to bug us on that 5th day or even early on that 6th day when an order hasn't shipped yet. We typically don't really have any information yet, so it's usually best to wait. Statistically, a very low percentage of our orders actually ships out after that 6th day. And so it's very, very common to see tracking get to be appended. Final thing on this, because I think it's an important point. I have a lot of partners ask me sometimes too what the best way is to help customers understand, because that's really what we all care about, right? Like we can all on the call totally get how this works, but if a customer is upset and confused and leaves a bad review, we've all failed, right? So I see a lot of businesses handle this differently. The best way I typically recommend is to make sure that within the product description, with checkout, with the order confirmation, kind of wherever you want to put it, all places, one of the places where you think your customer is actually going to read, which is a whole other issue, tell them about processing or kind of handling time. So some people might not understand the concept of on-demand manufacturing. Up to you if you want to disclose that these products are kind of made one-off. I actually think it adds brand value when you explain to someone that every product is custom and that there's it's actually getting printed and made when they order it. Can sometimes help you charge a premium for that product, where it's not just something sitting on a shelf. But just make sure your customers understand that this isn't just a mug that's sitting in a warehouse somewhere that we have to pull off the shelf and put in a box. It's actually getting made or getting processed or handled, or however you want to phrase it. So it does take a few days. Because we don't want to do is not set those customer expectations about the time it's going to take before they see a tracking link, and then they're frustrated, right? Because they're like, well, I selected overnight shipping on checkout. Why isn't it here Tuesday? Well, we're not Amazon, first of all, but it's also, I think, a lot of times really comes down to setting customer expectations. And we all know this as consumers. If we see that something's going to take, expected delivery date in 3 weeks, we're like, okay, that's very different than expected delivery date tomorrow. Okay. Move on a little bit because I know I've been harping on production time. Customer service and customer support. So problems will happen. Spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't think they will. They absolutely will. I don't know if it's a Canadian postal strike that'll be totally out of our control, or a hurricane, hopefully not, or a snowstorm in Missouri or something else, right? There will be some problem that Gooten didn't know about or that you all didn't know about that we will have to deal with, and it will affect orders. So what do you do when that happens inevitably, right? Something gets lost in shipping, whatever it is. The first thing, and this seems kind of, should go without saying, but it actually I think works saying, is if there is an issue with your order, tell us, please. That's something that we hate to see, is if your customer got something or you got something or something's going wrong with your order, we can't help you fix it unless we know about it. So we try to be really proactive with our stats and our monitoring and like watching production times and error rates and all this data, but a lot of the ways that we collect our data is from you. And so if you don't tell us about an issue, it's very hard for us to have wizard powers and know to fix it. That's the first thing. And keep it simple when you do. We get thousands of support tickets every month because we work with thousands of different businesses. So please tell us, but we love creative writing, but you don't need to write us a novel. Just give us the kind of information that our team needs to fix it, pictures, descriptions, all that stuff, and we will do our best to help you. The second thing, and I already mentioned this, is just be aware that we have limited abilities to change things once the orders have gone to production, or especially after they've been shipped or kind of in that process. It's not that we don't want to change them, it's just that we are very hamstrung technologically by our relationships with manufacturers. This isn't a Gooten specific thing. Like if you are familiar with kind of other companies in the space with a similar business model, it's pretty widespread. Manufacturing technology is pretty behind in terms of the ability they give us to push through changes, even though we try to co-develop a lot of this with them. So that's just something to be aware of. And the support team does get very busy during the holiday season. And so, well, in May, you might have been able to convince one of our agents to go track down an order for you and make a big change kind of right before it gets shipped. It's way harder to do that during the holiday season because our manufacturing support teams get really busy too. And most of our manufacturing partners are producing anywhere between kind of 20 to 50,000 pieces a day. And so finding that one order and making that one change before it goes out is a little bit like finding a needle in a haystack. So it can be pretty difficult, if not impossible. Third thing, don't forget production times often increase during holiday season purely due to increased volume. So like we already talked about. And then number 4, and I think this is an important one, our number 1 priority is making sure that orders are fulfilled and making sure that no order is left behind. And so as much as we would love to answer your questions about how do you use this random feature in this random tab of something and, send you screenshots and videos and do tutorials, because our agents actually really do love explaining to people how to use the system, that is going to be a lower priority ticket for us during the holiday season, because the way our agents work is they go through all of the order questions first. So I really encourage you that if you're trying to figure something out, if like you don't understand what this button does, check out the knowledge base, try to do some research yourself, experiment around, because our support team will get back to you. It's just going to take them a little bit longer than it would throughout the rest of the year because they're prioritizing live orders. Okay, a couple more notes on support, and then I'll move on. We are doing one more webinar this holiday season. We'll have opportunities for questions and talking more about support then if anything else comes up. Check out our knowledge base. It does leave a little bit to be desired in terms of like beauty, because we're redoing some of our website and content there, but the content of the knowledge base is fantastic. There's a lot of great tutorials and like step-by-step how you do stuff in Gooten, questions, things like that. And we do have an entire dedicated holiday season landing page that has holiday specific contents, guides. There's like 7 different PDFs explaining how things work and how we think about it, with stats on production times and errors and order cutoff dates and all of that, all on the holiday page. I see a question and a couple questions that have come in about those order cutoffs. They're all on the holiday page. We will send those out to you. You can study them. You can ask us questions about them all after this webinar. And with that, so I think I hit my mark pretty well. All right, about 20 minutes in, I'm going to turn it over to Adi Suja, who is the founder of Growthetics. We're very lucky to have Adi with us today, and he's going to talk to you about content marketing for your store. And so with that, I will let Adi take the reins. See if I can unmute. All right, Adi, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful, all you.
So let me just figure out how to share the screen. 1 sec. Okay, I guess I'm not very used to GoToWebinar. I need your help on this. Ta-da. Maddie, are you still there?
I am still there. Yep. If you email your thing really quickly to Colin, we can just pop it in. Sorry about that. We didn't know you had special slides. But if you want to just start talking and give an introduction, that'd be great.
Um, Definitely. So, my name is Adi Sujay. I'm the CGO of GrowthX. You could call me the CEO, but I prefer to run growth experiments all day on what works in instant marketing and growth hacking. So today we're going to talk a bit about ROI-focused content marketing and how we can help you grow your stores. I'll walk you through some real case studies and client tracker docs, clients that we work with, case studies that we work with, and I'll walk you through the entire process. And feel free to ask questions. Maddie will pop them over to me and I'll answer them as we go along. Feel free to interrupt. So, Maddie, I think I'll still need help with uh, the sharing the screen.
All right.
We have some text to go through.
Let me see if you can. All right. I just made you the presenter. Let's see if that works.
Yep. So, yes, it is showing. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the Growth Hackers playbook to ROI focused e-commerce content marketing. It's ROI focused because that is the main challenge that uh, most e-commerce business owners face. You spend a lot of money into content marketing, you don't get the ROI. So let's solve that issue today, right? So in this webinar, we'll be covering the basics. We'll talk about why content marketing is important. We'll talk about the problems in the space, problems in the content marketing industry. We'll talk about our content marketing process. We call it the GrowthX content marketing process, nothing fancy. I'll show you the results and the expectations that you have, results from real clients we work with, and the expectations that you have when you get started with content marketing for your own store. And I'll give you like a good offer towards the end. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's get started. So why content marketing? Now, the basics are clear. It's one of the best ways to convert is to provide value first and introduce what you're selling to your target market. And SEO doesn't work for e-commerce because Google just prefers content these days. Let me prove it to you. So this is a simple screenshot of a website that we work with. It's called Lasers Out, and they sell shoelaces. So that's the most generic, because a niche that you can think about, selling shoelaces, duh. But we create content for them and we're able to sell it. And what does this content look like? We simply answer customer questions or potential customer questions through helpful, useful content. And the shoelace sizing guide that we have is a perfect example for this. So we basically show them like what is the number of eyelets. If you don't know what eyelets are, it's basically the say the threads that you have on top of the shoe. Recommended the length, recommended the CM. So if you think about it, this is something that most sneaker lovers or you could say shoe lovers think about, like what is the size of the shoelace that I need to buy. So we just answer that question with helpful, useful content. Another example from the same website, lacing guides for different shoes. So I'm sure you've all come across like different fancy type of lacing across shoes. So we just show them how to do it. Another example of good content, answering customer questions. Now let's talk about another niche. So this is another example. This is matcha tea. For those of you who are not familiar with matcha tea is a type of green tea. It's, you could say, the best type of green tea. Yeah, you could say the world needs more green tea. But we built this site as a case study in partnership with the client. And the only goal of this was to prove that content marketing works. And I'm going to show you how we worked through this case study, how we created the website, how we created content, how we marketed the content, how we promoted the content, and the results we got, right? So these are some examples of content that we created for this client. And if you look at it, these are just ways to market your product. So essentially, we sell matcha tea, which is green tea, and you just provide engaging content, just create engaging content that is around this topic. So if your idea is to work as an affiliate website, you can simply compare different marketing brands. So if you're selling, say, products from different brands on your website, the best thing you can do is compare different brands, because that is definitely a keyword that people search for. Another way is this is a list post. You could say call it an extended list post. We show them 101 recipes that you can make using matcha tea, another piece of content. This is an infographic that we put together. So basically, an infographic is a freakishly long image. You could call it that, but essentially it's uh, an illustration of the data. It's a pictorial representation of data, and infographics work really well as content for all types of websites, including e-commerce websites, because it's easy to consume for readers and it's easy to promote. Let me show you how. So the key in you could say content marketing is email marketing, because email marketing, when you implement it on your e-commerce website, it gives you the option to capture and remarket your visitors. Now, the advantage of that is that you get repeat buyers through promotions that you send to your email marketing list. And email marketing also gives you other advantages, like, say, you can remarket to other channels on other social media channels like Facebook. And if in case you're interested in advertising, if that is an acquisition channel for you, you can use the Facebook custom and lookalike audiences. So custom audiences are when you upload a list of email contacts that you have from your blog, and remarket and only to those people. So you can run ads targeted to those people on Facebook. Lookalike audiences are when you say, okay, I've got a list of 10,000 people who subscribe to my blog on my e-commerce website. I want Facebook to find people similar to the people on my list, and I want to remarket to more people. So Facebook can do that for you. It's called lookalike audiences in Facebook. So the key in content marketing is using email to build your business, get repeat customers, and remarket to your visitors on your website who landed on your website once. So we do this in several ways. You can focus on getting people onto a list and sending them content about what you sell. So that's basically nurturing them. Yeah, we send like marketers and those mailers that you get from other e-commerce websites. But the thing is, it works. Email marketing is called the king of the marketing kingdom, because it is a 4,400% ROI, and that's a real statistic across all industries, averaged across all industries. You get like $44 for every $1 spent in email marketing, and that trumps Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything combined. Um, so some more ideas on how you can set this up. Again, we'll talk about this at the end, but these are some more ways in which you can do it. In here, what we're doing is we're offering content, good content, interesting content to people who subscribe to our list. In here, we're offering them a lead magnet, what we call a lead magnet. So basically, a lead magnet is when you offer something valuable, a particular topic or a particular blog post or a particular, you could say, a guide that your readers or visitors will be interested in for free if they opt into your list. Another example, free shipping. So this is you could say the hash on email marketing hack, because everyone loves free shipping and you know it. So we offer free shipping so that people can get into our list. So now let's talk about the problems in content marketing. Now, the first main problem is ROI, and this is a problem that we notice with almost all the clients that approach us. Um, they have no idea about what to create content on first that gets them sales. They're worried that content marketing will not generate ROI for them. The truth is that content marketing should be focused on search traffic. So that is the best way to generate sales for your e-commerce website. You need to rank your product pages and your blog pages. And it takes time to rank. It takes time to build authority for your website. It takes time for the search engines like Google to realize that authority and start ranking your blog posts and your product pages up. And the last one is the 90-10 rule of content marketing. It's one of the most ignored rules by most businesses in content marketing, you could say, because they don't realize the amount of noise online. So the 90-10 rule of content marketing was evolved from what we call the 80-20 rule of content marketing. So that was introduced about 5 years back. It's well known among content marketers, but essentially the 80-20 rule said that if you spend 20% of your time creating content for marketing your business, your e-commerce business, you need to spend 80% of your time promoting that content, whatever content it may be. And over the past 5 years, the noise online, the amount of content that all businesses are creating has increased to such an extent that I think the statistic 2 years back was 2 million blog posts were published every single day. So imagine standing out in all that noise. So the only way out of this is to actively promote your content, is to try your best to create good content and spend most of your time promoting that content um, to other publications or other outlets where you can promote it. So now let's get into the actual stuff, the GrowthEtics content marketing process. Now I'm going to just quit away from the slides and I'm going to show you the actual client tracker doc that we work with, so that you get an idea of how this works. So let's go to Matcha. Okay, so for every single client that works with us, we create what we call the work tracker doc. So I'm a big believer of processes. We need to follow processes more than strategies. Processes are way more important than strategies, because if you stick to a process, now you'll be able to maintain consistency in the work you do, in the marketing you do, and the promotions you do. So we stick to processes for our clients, and I'm just going to walk you through the entire process that we follow for clients. So this is the work tracker doc for Matcha Tea, which is the case study that I just showed you. And there are several sheets in this Google spreadsheet. We handle all the work from the spreadsheet. And I'm going to walk you through each of these and what they stand for. So the first sheet is called the client detail sheet. And the goal of the sheet is essentially just to list details, monthly targets, how much content should we create every month for that particular website, how many guest blogs or how many promotions, how many links do we need to build for that particular website. And then we have a color code. Again, this might sound a little complex, but it's pretty simple. It's for paid posts, plugs to be added, third-party link needs a plug and on the plug. So it's essentially what we come across during our promotion process. And these are qualitative metrics. So I mentioned that content promotion is a lot more important than content creation. And what we're trying to do is vet third-party publications on which we can promote our content. So we need to have a minimum SEMrush traffic. SEMrush is a tool. It's semrush.com. You can check it out. It's very good. And what we try to do here is just to vet the publications. This is the Moz Domain Authority. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Moz. That's moz.com. You can check it out. It's basically judges the authority of a website and gives you a metric. So we're trying to make sure that we are reaching only to publications that have this minimum value. So yeah, that's about it. We just list the details and the targets, the monthly targets that we have to achieve for a particular website, for our business, an e-commerce business, in the sheet. And the next sheet is called the KOB analysis. So this is where the process actually begins. Now, I wanted to show you an example that you'd be able to relate. So I'm going to show you an example of a website, a client of ours, that is about e-commerce marketing. So I take it this will be much more relatable than the Matcha, because I'm pretty sure half of you don't know what Matcha Tea is. So let's go into a website about e-commerce marketing. So e-commerce platforms is yet another client of ours, and we help them with content marketing. So I'm going to show you how the KOB analysis process works. Now, the KOB analysis stands for keyword or position to benefit analysis. Now, please pay attention. This is going to get fairly technical. I'm going to show you how we actually do this, how we run the data and the analysis. KOB analysis stands for keyword or position to benefit analysis. Now, just think about any single industry, any niche under the sun. Say you sell pens, or you sell handkerchiefs, I don't know, you sell shoelaces, whatever. There's always like 1,000 different topics to create content on, but we only want to focus on the topics that will get us sales. We only want to focus on the topics that will get us ROI. So how do we do that? So this is where the KOB analysis process comes in, and we take in 3 of the main elements, you could say, or 3 of the main metrics that matter in content marketing. It's when you look at keywords, the 3 of the main metrics that matter is the monthly search volume, the monetary value of a particular keyword, and the ranking difficulty for that particular keyword. Because again, just recapping, our goal is to rank in Google with the content that we create, because that is when we realize the true ROI of content marketing. And the way we do this is very simple. Suppose you sell shoelaces. All you need to do is go to Google and search in buy shoelaces. And Google will show you a bunch of e-commerce websites that sell shoelaces. And all you need to do is just take the website and plug it into SEMrush. So SEMrush is a tool, as I mentioned earlier. This is SEMrush, and all you need to do is just add the website of the e-commerce website in here, and SEMrush will show you all the keywords that that website is ranking for. So for an industry like e-commerce platforms or e-commerce for that, the keywords that SEMrush will give us, and some examples of keywords that SEMrush will give us will look like this: e-commerce website design, customer loyalty programs, what is drop shipping, best products to sell online. So I get that this is more relatable to you guys. So how to start an online boutique, how to sell jewelry online. So what we need to find out is what are the best keywords to target on this. And we don't want to rely on our own personal opinions on what content we want to create. We want data to speak and show us which keywords will generate the most ROI for us. So we just export all the keywords that a competitor is ranking for from SEMrush. We plug that in this column, and the next column is for traffic. So this is the traffic that this keyword is driving for the competitor. Again, SEMrush gives you this data, so you just copy paste that in here. Then the top keyword. So the top keyword is basically you plug any keyword into SEMrush, and SEMrush will show you related phrase match keywords that you can target. So these are just related keywords that may be that may include this one or not include this one, but from the related keywords list, so this is what I'm talking about, phrase match keywords. So from these keywords, you can get an idea of what are the better keywords. Like, does this list have better keywords than this one with better search volume and say higher CPC and lower competition? So you can just copy and add them into the top keyword tab. So this is something that has to be done because your competitor may not be ranking on the best keyword in that particular micro niche. So you have to identify the top keyword for those set of keywords or that topic. So we plug them, we do this for each keyword and we plug them in here. And the next thing is the search volume. So this is the monthly search volume. There is a Google monthly search volume. So how many people search for this keyword? Again, SEMrush gives you this data. It's basically just this one, volume. So you just add them in here. The traffic cost. So the traffic cost is another metric offered by SEMrush for each keyword. Essentially, it tells you the total monetary value of a keyword if you're ranking in the first position for that particular keyword, right? So it means that if you're ranking in the first position when somebody search for USPS versus UPS, monthly that traffic is worth $44,600 to you. So it's a very good metric because we can identify which are buyer keywords and which are not buyer keywords. Again, we're not relying on opinions, we're looking at actual data. SEMrush calculates this from the advertisers bidding on these keywords in Google AdWords. So yeah, that is the traffic cost. We'll find that for each keyword, add them in here, and then is the keyword difficulty. So for every keyword that you find, SEMrush gives you a keyword difficulty. So keyword difficulty means a higher keyword difficulty means it's tougher to rank for that keyword, and a lower keyword difficulty means it's easier to rank for that keyword. So we are ideally looking for low-hanging fruit, which is keywords that are easier to rank for. And then what we do is the interesting part. So this is where it all falls into place. We call it the KOV score. What we do is we basically divide the traffic cost divided by the difficulty. So we're basically combining all these three metrics. And what we get is a score for each of these keywords. And we can just sort this in the descending order to understand what keywords are the low-hanging fruit. So it seems like creating content on this is the most, you could say this keyword is going to generate the most ROI for us. Loyalty programs is the next most relevant one. How to start an online boutique. Again, the most relevant one. How to sell jewelry online. Again, the most relevant one. And then what we do is we take all the keywords that we find relevant, that the KOV analysis process found to be effective. And then we plug them in here. And then we recruit writers to create content for us. So let me tell you about why we always recruit writers. The reason is, if you're focusing on one if your e-commerce business is focused on one particular industry, say like selling shoelaces, then all you need to do is just go on Upwork.com and hire a freelancer who is very good at this, who's very good at writing about fashion and shoes, and can pull out a lot of data and research on that particular topic. But if you run an e-commerce business focused on multiple industries, say you sell tea and you sell shoelaces and you sell clothes, then it's not a good idea to hire anybody in-house or a single writer who can create all the content for you. We've learned this the hard way, because one single writer cannot produce actionable or good quality content in every single industry. So if you have an e-commerce business that focuses on multiple niches, you need to try and hire writers who have experience in those individual niches. And I wouldn't recommend going to any other website than Upwork.com. We do all our freelance hiring on Upwork.com. You can just go to, that's upwork.com. You can just go there, put a job post about what you're looking for, the type of content that you're looking for, and the expertise of the writers. And you can get freelance writers for cheap. Okay, so once we hire writers, we just list them as the owners. Like, so it's basically assigning it to them. We assign a particular post to Joe. We identify what type of content to be. So if it's like a product review, we mention it as product review. If it's a blog post or a guide, we mention it as a guide. And then what we do is we mention the topic that they create content on, and then we mark this as assigned. So this is a simple way to do it, and this has worked for us, for our clients over the years. And all you need to do is just mark it as assigned, and as the writer submits it, you can mark it as submitted or drafted, or if you require revisions from the writer, you can mark it as revisions. And all you need to do is just communicate to the writer, tell the writer, train the writer, and tell him that they are supposed to follow this process. So if you mark it as revisions and add some suggestions in the doc that they sent you, they're supposed to go back and work on the revisions. So that is how we focus on the process more, and it's worked for us. So, I hope you get an idea of how the content creation process works. And now let's talk about the content promotion works. So I use this example of e-commerce platforms because it'd be much more relatable. Let's switch back to Matcha, which is the case study that we were talking about. So I wanted to show you what is possible in this industry, right? How do we promote e-commerce blog content on third-party publications? Okay, so suppose we're selling green tea on our website. Okay, so this is a simple sheet. Again, at the end, I'll offer this for free. It's completely fine. You can reach out to me if you'd like this. It's a simple tool that we developed that lists a bunch of search engine operators. So let me tell you what search engine operators are. So I can plug in anything into this. So tea. Okay, I plug in tea, and this sheet will get populated. All the operators will get populated by tea. And all I need to do is just copy this, open a new tab, and search it in Google, and Google will show me all these different publications that have guest posts from other writers on tea. Okay, and all I need to do is Teacup of Life, there's Dainty Rose blog, there's tons and tons of them. All of these are guest posts. So all I need to do is make sure that, again, we do the vetting to make sure that these blogs have good authority, have good traffic. So the easy way to do this is to go to Google Chrome Store and install a Chrome extension called SEO Quick. So when after you install SEO Quick, it shows you an overlay on the SERP that shows you how much traffic, an estimate of the monthly search traffic that this website gets. So if it's, I'd suggest going with anything that is about 1,000. So this is 2,260, 2.26K. So I'm going to reach out to this website, and I'm going to pitch the editor with a personalized pitch that says, hey, this is what we do. I'd love to contribute a post to your blog. Would you like me to publish? And once they say yes, we log them in the opportunity sheet. Now, again, this can be done with a simple Gmail account. You don't need to create separate email marketing solutions or softwares or anything of that sort. You can just create a template in Gmail and just personalize them for each good publication that you find and just send them pitches.
Hey, Adi?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Thank you. This has been super helpful. And I appreciate, I didn't know you were going to go through all of the examples. So this is awesome. I hate to cut you off, but we do have a little bit more material to cover just before the end of the hour. So just wanted to say thank you so much for taking us through all of this. And we're going to share a recording of this at the end. And Is there a specific way if any of the attendees have questions or kind of follow-up? Would you like them to just contact you via email or navigate to the Growth Ethics site?
Yes, they can reach out to me at rd@growthetics.com.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, I really, really appreciate it. I'm just going to switch back over here to the presenter. Let's see, and just take this. All right. Okay, let's see if I can get this back. All right. Well, just while we're switching screens here, I just wanted to kind of recap a little bit.
Definitely. Just sorry to cut you off. I guess I can just share over the slides in case anybody like to take a look at it, since we're cutting them in between.
That would be amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Audie.
Yeah.
Just to wrap things up, I wanted to go a little bit into, for the guests, just bring it back to Gooten, because I know a lot of you have some questions about what's new here. So I'm going to, as I said, touch on a little bit of what we've done recently. I'll go into highlighting a particular new manufacturer that we've started to work with, and then I will take any questions. So please throw those into the chat, and Audie can hop in for questions as well, because he's hanging on. So just on the physical product side, I wanted to highlight that we are just about ready to cut off all new physical product additions to our catalog. We try to have everything in the system by November 1st, just to have at least a couple of weeks of the product being live in our catalog before Black Friday. It's pretty risky to add stuff late in the season, and a lot of manufacturers won't even allow it. But we have made quite a bit of progress this summer. On the new product side, definitely check out our drinkware. We have had water bottles and wine tumblers and pint glasses flying off the metaphorical shelves. Those have become really popular sellers for us very quickly. Leggings, pajamas, duffel bags, other kind of personal and wearable items, also very popular. And we just last week added new hanging canvas prints. These come with a detachable hanger. These are super popular on Etsy from what I've seen. And our manufacturing partner for these, Circle Graphics, has had tremendous success with their customers as well. We also have all of the new phone cases available for the most recent phone launches. So check those out, because those can be really great gift items during the holiday season. And then as I said, I just wanted to highlight our particular new manufacturing partner. So apparel is a really big product category for us. It's our top selling product by far is t-shirts, followed closely by some sweatshirts and other apparel products. And because of that, we've expanded pretty significantly in our manufacturing partnerships for apparel this year. That started over the summer when we anchored a partnership with D2G2Go. They're one of the largest apparel printers in the US. I actually think they're the largest owner and user of Kornit printers behind Amazon. They have 7 facilities in the US, and we've anchored a partnership with 2 of their facilities. So orders are flowing through with them. I have loved working with them so far because they are religious about sticking to a 2-day production time for most of their orders. So that's been fantastic. And then we also, in the past couple of weeks, launched a partnership with a company called OP Tiger. They're the largest direct-to-garment printer in mainland Europe. They have 2 facilities in the Czech Republic and over 100,000 square feet of production space. So we're really excited about our OP Tiger partnership. One of the coolest parts, other than the fact that we have the partnership, is that all of the pricing is the same. So we now have models live for the Bell and Canvas. You can see them listed here, and 2 Gildan models. We're going to be adding some sweatshirts and hoodies. And so far, we've been able to keep product pricing consistent across the US and Europe, which just makes things so much easier. And then shipping prices, as they should be, are lower than sending from the US. So overall, a really great partnership to be launching. They also have been very consistent. All the items we've seen so far have gone out between 24 and 48 hours in terms of turnaround time. And we've rolled VAT, because we get charged VAT from them. We have to charge it back to you guys. We've rolled that into our shipping costs. So you don't even have to worry about that as a second charge, which is really great too. So we're pretty pumped about them. We plan on doing quite a bit more in Europe. And again, this is all available through the Gooten system, basically without you having to do anything. So if you're selling any of those apparel models, our system will automatically route an order to our European partner if your customer is based in Europe. So you don't have to enable any settings, you don't have to add new SKUs. You just have to sell business as usual, start marketing to people who live in those countries, and you'll be able to take advantage of this. So we're trying to do that with a lot more product categories, but apparel is one of the biggest, and so we're focusing on that quite a bit, and really gearing up for a successful holiday season in that category. Now I'm going to pause for Q&A. If there's anything, please throw it into the chat. Wanted to just be mindful of your all's time because I know it's a busy day and I appreciate everyone joining. As I mentioned, we're going to do one more webinar this holiday season. I believe it's November 16th, 13th, sometime in mid-November. We will send you an email about it if you'd like to join. And the recording of this one will also be shared after the end of the presentation, along with all of the content I talked about, Audie slides, and then the cutoff dates, anything you need related to the holiday season. It's super important to us that you're all successful. So please keep us honest, work with your account manager, your customer service team, whoever you're talking to at Gooten, and make sure that they're getting you what you need to have a good year. All right, so I see a few questions rolling in. Okay, another question about cutoff dates. So we do not have a single date. We do not have that for a reason because we have a product catalog of 140 different products and each of those has different production times. So if I were to give you a single date, I would probably be working for 50% of our products and 50% would not. So with that, that's why we look at the holiday season in terms of a range or a calendar. The best date that you can probably have in your head as like the last day to send an order in the system, I would say is like the 15th or 16th of December. And how I get to that date is this. So if you get an order into us on the 16th, that means that the first day of production is the 17th, which is a Tuesday. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It should ship by Friday the 20th, or worst case, Monday the 23rd. If you have overnight shipping on that order, it should get to your customer by the 24th. So as you all know, postal holiday, the 25th of December, the carriers don't deliver. So the best kind of last call for delivery is usually the 24th. So kind of around that 16th date is what I anchor to. But then again, if you're selling crib sheets, those can take longer because it's a cut and sew item. If you're a big crib sheet seller, I would probably tell you to aim for more like the 13th, just to give yourself that extra day on sewing time. So it's an art and a science in terms of estimating these dates, but that's what you'll see on our calendar as well, kind of those highlighted ranges. And then again, especially if you're a large volume seller, really encourage you to talk to your account manager, and they'll be able to guide you toward a much more specific date for your business and the products that you sell. But really the calendar and our product catalog, you should be able to come up with a pretty good range, and we'll be following up with email communications as well. We ran some promotions last year to try to extend some of our selling times. I'm hopeful that we can get those out again to help offer kind of subsidized or discounted shipping so you can extend the amount of time you have to sell. I'm sure our finance team is listening to me say that and getting very upset, but in any case, you'll hear a lot more from us about those dates because that is very important that we get orders in and out. Okay, only other thing, just on the shipping topic, I think I saw something come in here and we've gotten some questions recently. I know free shipping is a big topic right now, especially for anyone selling on Etsy. You can still use Gooten and sell on Etsy with the free shipping rules. It takes a little bit of finagling, but basically you will still get charged shipping by us. You'll just have to adjust your Etsy settings to comply with that free shipping over the $35 order value. I know that's causing a lot of kind of consternation and stress among Etsy sellers. And so if you're one of them and you'd like to talk to us about how we can support you on the free shipping side and like any advice that we have, feel free to reach out to our customer service team or our partner success team, just success@Gooten or partner support@Gooten, and we'll connect you with someone if that relates to your business. All right, that's all I have. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope this was helpful. And you will hear from us again soon with some more holiday related content.